Hello everyone, this is Schnitzel Visa. This is going to be my first YouTube video, my grand introduction. And today I bring you a battle with Tomb Kings and Bretonia. It was a juicy one I had a couple weeks ago maybe. I've just kind of been saving. We wanted to cast it, but I finally got around to it. So let's look at what we got here. We got Bretonia. We'll look at them first. On the Bretonian side, we have spearmen, 2 spearmen at arms with shields, 4 men-at-arms with shields, 2 peasant bowmen with fire arrows. So it looks like we're just going to eat the arrows and kind of stop any zombie infantry, skeleton infantry. 5 men-at-arm polearms in the back, a Grail Knight unit, Alberic de Bordeleaux, and our Royal Hippogriff Knight accompaniment, and a mounted yeoman off to the side just to harass anything I might have. Looks like that's it for Bretonian. Oh, they have a life caster. What spells is she going to be bringing? She has Awakening of the Wood, Earth Blood, and a Regrowth. Pretty standard for the skeleton, or the skeletons, right? Tomb Kings, we got the skeleton warriors in the front line, just 5 to buffer the arrows and stop the push of the infantry. A Casket of Souls, Setra the Imperishable on the War Kitty, the Sphinx of Uskef, anti-large, magic, fire damage, armor piercing. This thing is just a terror against any large targets, and it's going to be probably one of my main win conditions. 2 Tomb Guard with halberds, and a Necropolis Knight with halberds, just to provide some mass for units to bank up through retreat if they need to. Let's get this going. We'll kind of skip it forward a little bit while the armies push into each other. Mounted yeoman going around the back. What else we got? Just, not a lot going on. Grail Knights starting to push up. The casket shooting at the front line. Probably going to start shooting at the arrows soon enough. Nope. I'm sure I'll switch on to that when I see it. Mounted yeoman going around the back. Probably looking for an opportunity to harass this casket. Alberic and the Royal Hippogriff Knight, seeing that nothing can really punish them for coming in, fly straight up to the front. See what they're going to do here. Grail Knights pushing along the side, coming around to wrap up with the Mounted Yeoman. Royal Hippogriff Knights crashing into the backside of these skeleton warriors, getting a huge charge, immediately killing 5 models, but probably going to add up a lot more. Yeah, crumbling them. Trident of Manon going down here, going to absolutely wreck. Yep, didn't notice it. Wrecked that skeleton warrior. He's just gone. Even eats into that one. This one's going to crumble out of existence. Rail Knight's getting hammered by this casket, though. Already lost 10 models. And, ooh, what is that? Another 7 lost. Ugh. I've lost all of the skeletons. 600 gold worth of infantry gone almost instantly. Not insignificant, but I have punched back against the Grail Knights. A very important unit for the Bretonians right now. The Mounted Yeoman getting a rear charge, just starting the crumble. Looks like a regrowth going down on the Grail Knights. But there's only 23 models. They're low on health. They're about to go into combat. Can they hang on? Will the healing keep them in? It does not. They decide to flee. Oh, we got a casket shot. Yeah, just kill some more of them. They shatter with 7 models left. You can't really blame them. That's brutal. That's so brutal. That is a very important unit for them in this fight. The Sphinx just kind of making sure that they get the idea. Setra and the Sphinx now get active. Looks like the Sphinx is gonna start approaching Alberic while Setra starts clearing some infantry. The casket's shooting at... looks like the casket's shooting at our bowmen in the back, the Bretonian bowmen, that is. Setra charging down the flank. Oh my gosh, ooh, you do not like to see that if you are a Bretonian infantry unit. This polearm, oh, it just terror routes. Instantly terror routes a unit. But on this other side, we're just in a holding stance. Looks like the mounted yeoman got on top of the casket, but we have Tomb Guard halberds and the Sphinx over here. They're not going to stay for long. Alberic coming down, attacking Setra in the back. He's got his local support of the Royal Hippogriff Knights. Sensing that there's probably not a lot I can do against them in this situation with Setra. Just pulling back, getting away, getting back to this support. I have a lot of anti-large support that's left. Well, really everything is a anti-large, but there's just not a lot of it. That's a better way to put it in this situation. Meanwhile, he's got plenty of men and pole arms. He's still throwing them in. We're just desperately trying to get rid of them. Setra coming in for another earth-shattering charge, terror routing these two units. Setra just showing these peasants that he does not serve. He doesn't even need to fight them. He just tells them to leave and they oblige him. And really, even though we don't have a lot of support, we're controlling this battlefield. They have localized support in places that they need it with the Alberic and the Royal Hippogriff Knights, but so far we're doing a good job at just stopping these units from doing damage to the units we need to win. Namely, our Necropolis Knights, their Sphinx of Uskef, and Setra. Setra coming back in, getting more charges into the infantry, trying to get on the Alberic, but we cannot. I pull back into my support. Always want to be near some kind of support. If they want to charge in, I have to make them pay for it. Especially since these are such elite units. Looks like Alberic's going to jump on this casket. I see this. Going to pull everything back. At least try to get some damage on Alberic. But just looks like just neither side gets nothing. Infantry support for the Bretonians constantly fleeing. This is starting to become a problem. These Royal Hippogriff Knights desperately do not want to fight all of this by themselves. They want something on the ground. Meanwhile, I'm also losing my foot support. 69 Tomb Guards, nice. 73 here. Just not a lot left, but they are very hardy infantry units. Both the Tridents and Manon are gone. There's no spells to get rid of them, so they're going to stick around for a while, and that's the real strength of the Tomb Guard with halberds. They just seem to stick around. They're very, very hard to get rid of if you don't have a burning head or a anti-infantry unit to just shred them. Meanwhile, just still charging through stuff. Setra up to 76 kills on the peasants. Not as many as you would think, but all of those air routes have been super important. Alberic coming in. Oh, so we still had one Trident Manon. I thought I saw two. I guess I didn't. Yeah, that was badly placed. It just didn't do enough damage. Yep, we look good. We look good. Everything is just crumbling besides our pocket here. The Royal Hippogriff Knights get pushed off. Yeah, generally this is just going to be a grind for a while. There's not a lot to commentate here. It's just duking it out. The bows are still firing in. They're a little far. They should probably get closer to make sure they have better accuracy. We're going to do everything we can to keep charging. Our charge bonus of 52 and 64. They really, really incentivize us to keep these units moving. As long as they're moving, they're doing tons of damage and not getting attacked. Necrotech got separated here. It's not good. He's probably going to get knocked out. There's just not a lot we can do to get to him. You really want the Necrotech near the constructs. He's very important. Setra getting up to 93 kills. The Sphinx at, what is this, 61. They're just killing tons of these peasants, but there's more to go. Necrotech getting bullied, but he's still alive. He's still going. And as long as he's going, let's see, did I bring the buffs on him? Or did I just bring the restore? Yeah, we have the buffs, so as long as he's around, he's giving armor piercing and stat buffs to the Sphinx of Uskep, who is then slapping around these Royal Hippogriff Knights and Alberic. Still got the bows firing. This one's pretty much out of ammo. 26 on this one. Still got really good ammo, but kind of insignificant at this point. The Tomb Guard are just getting worn down, though. Even though they are very low on model count, them being here helps tremendously in this fight. Keeps everything from getting on top of Setra. And the curse goes down, shatters 2 men-at-arms, pushes away the rest of the pole arms, and kind of makes this fight a lot more manageable. These Tomb Guard halberds, though, was it 6, 5, it's about to be gone, 18, that one's got maybe another 20 seconds left. Setra getting beat on, 1300 health, starting to think about crumbling, but we finally started to push a lot of this infantry back. Not a lot of this wants to stay with the leadership being this low. Setra tries to push out of this blob. He doesn't want to get killed, but this was probably a mistake. Alberic then sees an opportunity to hit Setra without his support. Charges in, gets an attack. Setra trying to fight, but gets a hit again. I decided it's probably better to just delay and keep Setra alive so we don't lose our leadership. Royal Hippogriff Knights down to 2 models, 700 health, not doing too great. Probably not going to stick around for much longer. Looks like they lose another model, and they're out of there. They're gone. Lifecaster in an area she doesn't want to be in. More terror routing. So much terror routing for the infantry of Bretonnia in this fight. They just cannot stay on top of these monsters. They don't want to fight them. Setra getting charged again, tries to get out, but falls. Takes a group of peasants out with him, which could be significant here. Every little bit of leadership loss is huge for me as the Tomb Kings here. Bretonnia has to keep this together. And really, he should be only committing a couple units at a time while he gathers things together. But so far, there's too late. There's too many things shattered. He has to push everything together, try to kill this Sphinx. Alberic pushes in, goes all heroic mode. Looks like the Necrotech is crumbling, but he's still giving the buffs to the Sphinx. The Sphinx turns around, hammers Alberic, 277, and hits him again. Alberic falls. Lifecaster can't hold it together, can't give the buffs to everything around him. This causes Bretonnia to completely shatter, and you can see the balance of power go from very heavily not in my favor to swing rapidly to a win. I didn't think I was going to win that. I had basically accepted the loss, but at a certain point I realized, no, this is winnable, and came out of that clapping. Let's look at the value. We have Setra, almost 2,300, not quite paying for himself, but the terror, the spell casting. I didn't really get to see a lot of spells because I brought more of the buffs and debuffs. Nothing really that looks super active. The Necrotech providing his buff and restores to the Sphinx probably is what kept it in there. Also to the Tomb Guard are the Necropolis Knights, because they are a construct, so he was buffing them while they were fighting. Skeleton Spearmen getting destroyed. Yeah, this one getting no value because it got hit by the spell. Tomb Guard with halberds, mediocre performance, but they stayed there and they stayed fighting. They really only fought a lot of infantry most of the time. It was their ability to stay alive and allow me to sit on top of them and use them as a threat that I think actually made them really worth it here. Necropolis Knights basically paying for themselves. Casket doing amazing after destroying this Grail Knight, just sending it to another dimension. Also, hitting some of these fire arrows, and the Sphinx getting 2,900, not as much as you would think, but it was enough to win the game. He held out. Alberic getting 4,000, huge value on Alberic. That's so good. 2,000 on the Royal Hippogriff Knights, allowing them to pay for themselves. Lifecaster just doing some healing. The front line doing okay, These pole arms, a couple of them doing pretty good, but one of them paying for themselves here. The two of them not doing so good. So really, they were a good idea. The bows, paying for themselves. The Grail Knights, though, this was the loss. Just imagine those Grail Knights if I was shooting at the bows instead of them, and the Grail Knights could come in the later part of the game while everything's occupied. Would have been a GG, and the Mounted Yeomen not paying for themselves, but just kind of trying to be a distraction. So, you know, in the end, kind of worth it. So, thanks for sticking around to the end. This is the first video on my channel. I might have said that in the beginning. And I want to expand out and do different kinds of content, not just 1v1s, but I'd love to cast replays, not just mine. Look into free-for-alls and different formats. And generally just want to hear from people what they'd like to see. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and until next time, maybe get y'all a schnitzel. See ya.